Hey K-pop lovers! You're tuned in to K-pop Fair, where every story hits your heart like your favorite beat. Hello everyone! Did you notice? There was something that caught our attention in Taehyung's latest live broadcast. From the very beginning, he seemed nervous, as if he was hiding something. Every now and then, he would raise his hand to cover his neck or mouth, trying to hide it. But in the end, he failed to hide his scars. And this is not new. We have seen the same thing in other broadcasts, a scar on his neck, a slightly split lip. It is not surprising for those of us who have been watching such things for a long time. Most were imagining Jungkook, because this is not the first time Taehyung's scar has appeared. Next to a moment where Jungkook was also seen with some kind of scar. It is obvious to many that Jungkook likes to leave these little marks, as if it is a way to show affection, to playfully and directly mark his own. There is nothing wrong with this. It is their habit, reflecting trust and closeness. The most recent example is a video of them rehearsing together. There was a small bruise on Jungkook's arm, barely noticeable to those not paying attention, but immediately noticed by fans. Now, comparing it to what Taehyung showed on live TV, the scar on his neck and slightly chapped lips. It's easy to connect the dots. Nothing needs to be forced. The evidence is self-fulfilling. It's interesting how they react to this situation. Taehyung tries to cover himself up at first, but he does it effortlessly, as if he has no intention of hiding it. Jungkook, on the other hand, never tries to hide his feelings. There's no nervousness or discomfort. Instead, he exudes confidence in what he's showing. This naturalness means that it doesn't feel like a coincidence, but a silent confirmation of what they're going through together. It makes Taehyung's fans view each of these moments as pieces of a puzzle. There's no need to wait for a big announcement, because the gestures themselves speak for themselves. These signs, these glances, these ways they look at each other, even in public, tell their story more vividly than words. For those who have been following them for a long time, the message is clear. What is between them is genuine, and they cannot hide it, no matter how hard they try. It is impossible not to remember how carefully the company managed the intimacy between them. It often seemed as if everything was designed to leave no room for speculation. But what we have seen lately is something else entirely. They themselves seem more relaxed now, less concerned with what they can say. And this attitude sends a powerful message. What they feel is above criticism or external rules. What is beautiful is that it is not just about the marks on their skin. It is how these marks represent something bigger, a relationship that is not hidden, that lives freely, even when the whole world is watching. Taehyung and Jungkook do not need to say it openly. They already show it with every gesture. Knowing that they will be criticized or that they will try to cover up what is happening between them, they continue to move forward as if nothing can stop them. In the video of Taehyung and Jungkook rehearsing together, something happens that many of us immediately noticed. They are rehearsing as always when the camera is filming them. But Jungkook suddenly waved his hand towards Taehyung, and at that very moment the video cut off. This was not just a simple edit. It seems like the crew edited it so that not everything was visible. The funny thing is that if you look at the video before it ends, you will see Jungkook grabbing Taehyung's butt. And of course, we all thought the same thing. He probably playfully spanked him, because this is not the first time he has done this. Jungkook always acts like this with Taehyung, and Taehyung never looks awkward. In fact, he seems used to it. The fact that the creators cut this moment didn't surprise anyone. Whenever something too obvious happens between them, they cut it out or gloss over it. That's it. But the truth is, it's impossible to completely hide something because what we see is enough to understand what's going on. It seems like they're trying to hide it, but in the end, they're only confirming what we already know. And we don't have to look far. In another live broadcast, during their plane ride, Taehyung was sitting on Jungkook's lap, and they didn't cut anything out then. It was all recorded, and they didn't try to hide it. It was a natural moment, like they didn't even care about being seen like that. That's why cutting out the slapping scene doesn't change anything. We already have plenty of examples of how they act around each other. The difference is that on the plane, they show themselves without embellishment, while in rehearsals, they prefer to cut it out. But in the end, the result is the same. Taehyung still leaves a mark. Even if they try to cut out certain moments, they always show how they feel. Their gestures, their looks, their reactions, they all speak louder than any editing. This is nothing new to fans. Their attitudes towards each other alone indicate that. Their relationship is real. Jungkook always tries to get closer to Taehyung, whether through jokes, touches, or looks. And Taehyung, in turn, takes it naturally. It doesn't seem forced or awkward. They are simply being themselves. It's this naturalness that makes their interactions so real. Even when the crew cuts out moments like this, all they achieve is to make people pay more attention. Because if nothing happened, there would be no need for editing. The editing only emphasizes that something interesting happened. And this something perfectly matches the way Jungkook usually treats Taehyung, with intimate, sometimes playful gestures that demonstrate the trust between them. In the end, it's not the hand they cut that matters, but everything these little gestures represent. They prove that Taehyung is not a made-up idea or an empty rumor, but a connection that shines through in every detail. And even if they try to hide it, something always slips out and reveals what's really between them. This training video only adds to the many other moments we've already seen. No matter whether they cut it, disguise it, or leave it as is, what's between Taehyung and Jungkook always comes out. And each time they only emphasize it because what unites them is not a coincidence or an accident. It's real, and they let it show, even if only for a few seconds before the camera turns off. In recent months, Taehyung and Jungkook's interactions have become much more constant and tangible. Before, their gestures were shorter, only occasional, and potentially unnoticeable to those not paying attention. Now, it's the opposite. Their encounters have become more frequent, more noticeable, and most importantly, more natural. Taehyung doesn't try to hide. Instead, they seem increasingly comfortable showing their feelings. This change is evident when comparing past situations with what we see now. For example, in the live feed from the plane, there are no filters or editing. Taehyung is sitting on Jungkook's lap, and they do so without showing any discomfort or trying to hide it. It's a clear and straightforward scene that requires no explanation. That's it from Kpop Fair, your ultimate K-pop destination. Remember, stay sparkling and always follow your heart. See you in the next video.